Is the U.S. going to get tougher now on Russia?
Well, I think this is really an opportunity for us. You know, military action at times opens up the doors for our diplomats to be able to have some leverage and make some progress. In 1995, in Bosnia-Herzegovina, President Clinton ordered a very limited military strike. That actually led to the Dayton Accords and peace in Bosnia-Herzegovina. I'm not suggesting that peace is going to break out over Syria, but I am suggesting this. The Tillerson going into Moscow has considerably more leverage today than he had 2 weeks ago as a result of that strike. They're going to pay attention to him. Secretary Kerry, I know for a fact, always wanted to do limited military operations in Syria, but Obama would never approve them. Why did he want to do the limited military operations? So he could go to the negotiating table with some leverage. We have some leverage now to make some political progress. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. But we're in much better shape than we were a couple of weeks ago.
So what does that leverage amount to? Why do we want that leverage? What do we want from the Russians? What are we going to do with that?
Well, first of all, we would like to stitch together a ceasefire that holds. All the ceasefires we've had have been jokes. Let's put together something that holds. The Russians violated every damn one of them. That's the reality of it. So let's get something that works. We can also move in a direction for Assad to go. Now listen, the audience has got to understand, the Alawite regime is not going anywhere. That's what they stood up, that's what they reinforced. But I believe that Putin is willing to let go of Assad because he's reckless and he becomes a liability. He'll let him go, but he'll bring in another thug. But hopefully someone that is more moderate and reckless and not a killer.
This is why this is so worrisome, because let's say Assad leaves tomorrow. We don't know who comes in, and any time we've taken or someone has left in the Mideast, someone even worse gets in. Does it leave a vacuum for ISIS to just put their guy in there?
No, they can't. They don't have the physical
Iran?
wherewithal. No. The most powerful opposition group in Syria is no longer the moderates who we were backing. After 2013, when the chemical line was crossed and we didn't do anything about it, a lot of the support inside Syria for the moderates fell apart. The most powerful group is an al-Qaeda affiliate called Al-Sham. And they still don't have the wherewithal to take over from the government.
But it's the same story. I mean, the point is when you take out Assad, if he leaves, isn't that a vacuum for who knows what?
No, I mean, Putin would put in another leader. Putin is going to decide who goes in there. He's going to put a leader in there, but hopefully one that is not as liable as this guy is.
Yeah.
You know, and reckless, and his behavior is atrocious and humiliating and embarrassing to him in front of the entire world audience. It's only an opportunity. I don't want to make too much of it, but Tillerson does have some leverage that we didn't have, and we'll see if he can make some progress here.
I like what you're saying in terms of the leverage, but it does feel like the whole international story has gotten a lot more worrisome in the face of President Trump's now, we're within the 100 days, 60 days or something. General, North Korea now, I want to ask you about that. I mean, it says it will respond to what it calls, quote, reckless acts of aggression by the U.S. after a U.S. Navy strike group was sent to the waters off of the Korean peninsula. This move coincides with speculation that North Korea could be preparing to conduct its 6th nuclear test this weekend. What do you make of this?
Well, that's why they're there. I mean, the anniversary of Kim Jong-il's birthday is coming up, and usually around that event, it's a milestone event for them. They normally display some kind of provocative event. So we believe it's the 6th nuclear test, as you suggest. Carrier battle group en route. Why are they going there? They're going there to reinforce and reassure our allies, South Korea in particular, and also Japan. Huge political instability in South Korea. Corrupt president impeached, but very tough on North Korea and a good ally of ours. New president coming, likely not as tough on North Korea. We're there, Maria, frankly, to strengthen the spine of the South Koreans. We want them to know that we've got their back. Previous president was not as strong supporting our allies. Japan felt that way. South Korea, the Philippines, all the people in the Pacific felt that way. First visit that Mattis made was to the Far East. 2 weeks ago, Tillerson was there, all doing the same thing, reassuring our allies. That's what this carrier battle group is about. We're not going to do anything provocative.
And then the president just met with the president of China. Can China do something? What could China do to help us with North Korea?
20-plus years we've been working with China. 3 presidents prior to this one to get them to leverage North Korea to denuclearize. All of it failed. For the first time, China has made at least rhetorical statements that they're willing to curb North Korea's behavior as a result of the discussions with President Trump.
Wow.
We got to see if that translates into action.
That is a big deal.
I'm skeptical about
You're skeptical.
it, but we'll see. And again, he had, in that discussion, he had leverage in that discussion because of that strike in Syria.
Yeah.
That's the reality
It's
of it.
really extraordinary what the strike has done
Yeah.
in terms of giving the U.S. leverage. I mean, most people will say that North Korea could not exist without China because that's where the food and fuel comes from, right?
Fuel, 100%.
So they can just shut it off.
Obviously, they control North Korea. They control their behavior. And I think they believe now, I'm surmising a little bit and speculating, that North Korea's behavior is getting to be unacceptable, it's dangerous, and it's provoking the United States, and they don't want that to happen.
You think this is a turning point?
I think it could be. We'll see. I mean, I'm more positive than I've ever been about this North Korea thing as a result of President Trump's discussion with President Xi. We'll see if it turns into action.
And as a result of what we saw in the strikes in Syria. General, great to have your insights.
It's great to see you, and good luck with your interview today.
Thank you so much. General Jack Keane joining us here.